What's going on, guys? Welcome to your Saturday morning edition of your second stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and news report. The House committees are beginning to finish up their work on this $1.9 trillion stimulus package. So I want to provide you with the new updates that we have out this morning. Now, a lot of the stuff that we're hearing is going to be a lot of the same stuff, right? So I just want to kind of reiterate this because I know a lot of people are wondering, why do I keep doing an update when a lot of the information is still the same? Well, even though a lot of the information is the same, there's going to be little updates mixed in. And that's kind of the big issue right now, is we are starting to get more of the detail. So that's what I'm going to try to bring you up to speed on. So let's jump into the new updates for today. Yesterday was the start of the 2021 tax filing season, which means the IRS is going to be busy with dealing with the income tax returns, and also hopefully very soon, we will start seeing stimulus checks, which come from the IRS. So they're going to be very busy, which means we could see the either tax processing delays, or we could see stimulus check delays. What most people are expecting, based on what the IRS has stated, is they will get stimulus checks out as quickly as possible, which means it will come down to delaying the processing of your income tax returns. So, just want you to be well aware of that. But this leads us into our next update. According to multiple sources, people that owe back taxes at this point will not have their stimulus checks garnished. Okay, so this is one of the issues that was happening with the $600 stimulus check, is it was being garnished by the IRS. Same thing with the $1,200 stimulus check, simply because you owed back taxes. Well, according to the new reports, it states that no, if you owe any back taxes, you would not get your $1,400 stimulus check garnished because of that. So that is good. As to people who owe back child support, that is not something that we have really a lot of details on just yet. But if it's like the last one, then no, if you owed back child support, you would still get your $1,400 stimulus check. So that is good news there. Now, I'm sure over the next probably week, we're going to get a lot more updates on this. And as soon as we see the full text of all this, and then it gets passed by the House, hopefully that is going to be the bill. But some are saying that no, it's going to go over to the Senate. And what Chuck Schumer wants to do is pretty much just say, okay, let's put this to an up-down vote. Do we support this bill? This $1.9 trillion stimulus package. Is everybody in favor? Yay? Nay? What is it? And as long as it's 50-50, then they know it's going to pass. They'll bring in Kamala Harris, our vice president, and she will be the deciding factor. But some Senate Democrats are saying that no, we need to actually look at this bill. We need our committees to look at this. And same thing with Republicans as well. They want the Senate committees to look at this bill, not just the House committees, because the rules in the Senate are different. So we'll see what happens there. But again, there's going to be a lot of talks on this over the next few weeks. The provision, this provision will be needed by many, because a lot of people are really wondering, if I owe back taxes, I owe child support, I could use this stimulus check. I really could. We should not have it garnished, and I'm on your side with that one. But right now, this provision will be needed by many, as currently, Americans are estimated to owe roughly $50 billion in just unemployment taxes from 2020. That's big. And this is part of the reason why Democrats are pushing to get all industries some money to help prevent further layoffs. So, what we are hearing is that the other day, American Airlines and United Airlines, they warned that they might furlough an additional 27,000 employees. This would be additional pilots, more flight attendants, and more people work inside the airports. So, Democrats are stepping up once again and providing an additional $14 billion for payroll assistance. Now, some experts say you should just let the airlines fail. The bigger ones will, or the better ones will actually succeed. They won't go bankrupt, and they will be the ones that kind of lead us into the next century or next decade. Well, great. But that's not what Congress wants to do, or specifically Democrats want to do. Remember, Nancy Pelosi said, I believe in September, that when the the CEOs of the airline industry came to her and said, we need more help. Well, Nancy Pelosi said, just give me a few days, we will get you stimulus. Well, it never happened. We never saw anything go directly to airlines. Yes, some through the PPP program and stuff like that, and that's helping. But currently, the payroll assistance for the airlines, that actually expires on April 1st. So we only have a little bit over a month before we pretty much get rid of this benefit for the airlines. So they're going to try to help out. This is essentially going to help these airlines keep roughly 27,000 more employees employed through September 21. So another one of the biggest pieces of legislation that will be passed coming this month is going to be that $3,600 and $3,000 child credit or child benefit. Now, I want to really break this down because this is the new updates that we have, and this is huge. What we're hearing right now doesn't just impact this, it also impacts the stimulus checks, which I'll get to in a minute. But the goal of this package for children is let's provide $3,000 or $3,600 for children between 0 and 5, $3,000 per year for children between 6 and 17, and let's do it in a monthly payment. Let's pay it to the parents so that they can kind of lift their children out of poverty. That's the goal. Well, these payments would go to roughly 66 million American children. 66 million children are going to receive this payment. But now, according to Congress, they see a bigger challenge ahead of them. What they're saying is, many of you saw this coming, all right? And I was reading through the comments, I think it was earlier this week, and I was reading through the comments and I was writing these down because a lot of you guys made some really good points. And so here's what you guys were saying before Congress really ever picked up on this. Many of you asked, who gets the monthly payment for my children if they split time between myself and my ex-partner? Don't know. And then somebody asked, will I still get a monthly stimulus? Boy, it's not a monthly stimulus check. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Will I still get a monthly check if I make so little income that I don't actually file taxes? And I looked, I was thinking, well, I don't know. They didn't say anything about that. So, according to the Washington Post, they did a full story on this morning. According to the Washington Post, parents who have custody of their children or child 50% of the time of the year will be the ones receiving the payment. Well, what happens when it's 50-50? What happens when it's split? Now, in most cases, the courts try to do a 51-49 split. There's usually one custodial parent. And it's just so it's not 50-50 and the parents bicker all the time. So whoever has the majority of the custodianship, or I believe that's what it's called. Is custodianship even a word? I don't know. But whoever has the majority of the rights to their child is going to receive the full benefit, the full payment. Not 51% and the other 49% goes to the other parent. It's going to all go to that one parent, which is going to create more issues because sometimes the one that has is the custodial parent doesn't necessarily mean the child stays with them the majority of the time. They just have all the say. Now, in most cases, yes, the child does stay with them the majority of the time, but that's not in all cases. So, what we're hearing is that there is also an issue with this because sometimes the parents split. They split their children into, okay, on even years, I'm going to file them on my taxes. I'm going to claim on my taxes. And on odd years, you can do it. Here's the issue. Right now, so whoever claimed the children on their taxes in 2019, they would have received the stimulus checks for $1,200. Well, then it was $500 for children. And then it was $600 for children. Okay, great. Well, if the new parent doesn't file before these checks come out, then the parent that got the checks from filing in 2019 will continue to get the $1,400 check, which is creating more and more issues. And this is why a lot of people are saying that it's really unfair because their ex-spouse is getting all the stimulus money, but they only have the children half the time. It makes absolutely no sense. So, and for those that got divorced during this difficult time, That's going to be another issue. House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Richard Neal, he states that the Department of Treasury needs to create an online portal where Americans can update their status and claim their credits. Well, this sounds like a good idea, right? Well, here's what we're hearing. This is going to lead to more scams and debates amongst parents as to who should receive the money every single month. That's what we're hearing. So right now there's a lot of discussions about what is the best way to proceed. The other issue is for this year, for 2021, parents are going to receive their payments monthly come July. Here's the issue. That's only 6 months. So one parent's going to receive their payments for 6 months, and then if the other parent files in 2022 for 2021, then they'd get the other 6 months of payments. So it'd be perfectly split. But then the parent that goes and files, they would technically be the one that gets the new payments. So again, just a bunch of issues, and right now this is what's currently being discussed, but it's not just being discussed regarding the monthly payment of the $300 for children between 0 and 5 and the $250 for children between 6 and 17. It's being discussed for that and the stimulus checks. So again, more issues, but that's what lawmakers do. They just kind of create more issues. So we'll see what happens. Another huge update is how this $1.9 trillion stimulus package gets paid for. Now, a lot of people were thinking, oh, it's just going to come out of taxes, right? We will pay a little bit of taxes. Now, we're still paying off stuff from 20, 30 years ago, but our children in 20 to 30 years are going to be paying off this, hopefully. That's what everybody was thinking, and then some people and some experts are saying we can't put our children at risk. We can't make our children pay for the mistakes that we made today. However, some are saying that this pandemic, or some are calling it an endemic because it's never going to end, some are saying that this is not our mistake. This was not our fault. We didn't cause this. This is a once-in-a-lifetime, crisis. So we have to fight it any way that we can. Right now, the truth of this is that paying off this $1.9 trillion stimulus package will take some time. Politico reported this morning that for this budget reconciliation, it will be paid for under the 2010 legislation of pay-as-you-go rules. What this means is that this means in order to help pay for this $1.9 trillion stimulus package, Congress must make some cuts to critical programs. I know a lot of you guys hate to see that, hate to hear the word cuts, but that's what we're hearing. So these cuts could be coming to things like Medicare and farm subsidies, according to Politico. There's other things as well that are mixed in here, but we do not have to do cuts to make up $1.9 trillion. It's going to be billions and billions of dollars, but this is what they're saying is we could see cuts on this. But this means that Congress must step up and provide for these programs to offset these possible cuts. Here's the issue, and this is the biggest worry at this point. The biggest worry right now is that in order to prevent these possible cuts, Democrats will need at least 10 Republicans on board to stop this. And being that Democrats aren't taking much into consideration as far as what Republicans want, this is where they're saying is going to create issues. Republicans could let the cuts be made to simply prove a point to Democrats that you should not have done that budget reconciliation. And they want to prove a point to Americans that we do not need a full Democratic Congress. If we do, and that's what we have now, we're going to see issues. The point being made at this time is that Democrats should not have full control. They do have full control. Republicans have had full control before. And many experts believe that no single party should have full control. Now, whether that becomes a new piece of legislation, I doubt it, that Democrats and Republicans are going to vote to say, okay, no single party should have full control. Because honestly, do you really believe having full control? And let me know your honest thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you feel that having, whether it's all Republican control or all Democratic control, do you personally feel that that is the best thing for our country? Or do you think there should be some type of compromise? We need to have some type of middle ground. Maybe not full progressives, but or moderates, but something more on that line where we have people kind of in the middle. let's say we have a Republican president, that's always going to be different. It's going to be Republican, Democrat, whatever, maybe an independent someday. But then we also have, if the House is going to be, Democratic House, then it's going to be a Republican Senate, or vice versa. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you think we should have some type of legislation that means we never have a single party have full control over government? So again, let me know down in the comment section below. And that leads me to the next update, or the last update for today, and that leads into the $1,400 stimulus checks. All Republicans at this point are saying that providing a $1,400 stimulus check to a family making $200,000 is just unreal. It's not right. We shouldn't do that. But Democrats would really like this income limitation lifted. Just get rid of this income limitation so that people that do make over $200,000 in adjusted gross income can receive a stimulus check. They are saying that it doesn't make sense to have a hard cutoff, because if we just phase out the stimulus checks a little bit quicker, so instead of $5 for every $100 you make over the $150,000 for couples, or over $75,000 for an individual, it would make more sense to, instead of $5 for every 100, maybe we do $20 for every 100. So it would phase out 4 times as quickly. This would mean that we could potentially see, yes, families that do make $250,000, they still could get a stimulus check, but it would be very small. It would be extremely small, maybe like a $500 check. Again, I haven't done all the math, and I don't want to bore you with the math right here, because doing math in my head is not going to come out very great. But I just want to give you that kind of idea. That's what's currently being discussed. And that's what's currently being discussed more over in the Senate than in the House. And again, remember, like I said earlier, that the House, the committees are working on this. It hasn't even gone to the Senate committees yet. So that's where the issue is going to come, is it will pass in the House, no problem. We're going to get that passed. But when it gets kicked over to the Senate, that's where we're going to have issues. Do we see Republicans, really push against this? Do we see Democrats like Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, do we see them get some more people on board with them and not pass this bill? It's quite possible. So what we are seeing right now is that, again, going back to the thing with lawmakers looking at the parents of who gets this $3,600 check, or who gets this $3,000 check per year for their children. Some lawmakers worry that they've been providing stimulus checks to parents that don't have at least 50% custody of their children. And that's becoming a big issue. Some say that parents will sometimes split custody, and one will claim a child 1 year on their taxes, and the next parent will claim on the next year their taxes. And this is creating a big issue, like I stated earlier. But by doing this, it's making the entire process very complicated, because the IRS doesn't know who to send payments to. So they just send the payment to who they believe is the actual who has custody of their child. And then what they get is phone call after phone call from parents saying that their ex-spouse stole their stimulus check. And so the IRS is stating that they received millions of calls. And a lot of these calls are the exact same thing. This person stole my check. I have proof. They stole my check. But the IRS can't do anything. The IRS stated that if they send out a check to you, it is your check. You do not have to pay it back. But at the same time, if you do not pay it back, they cannot forward it to the person that it was supposed to go to. So another big issue. So, as you can imagine, Congress is trying to find a solution to all of this. The problem is they are pretty much coming up short. They're not finding a solution to much. So that is the issue at this time. What I can tell you is that lawmakers are reportedly continuing to work throughout the weekend to hopefully get this stimulus package buttoned up and done within the committees. If this happens, we could see votes on this come the week of February 22nd. We could see the House vote on this on February 22nd. That would be big. But as we know more, I promise I'll share more. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have an incredible rest of your weekend. Consider subscribing and also share this video with your friends and family over on Facebook as well. And I just want to again thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.